HYBE Silent shocks fans. Jimin's mysterious return to Korea leaves ARMY asking. Whereas Jungkook, the airport doors opened, the cameras rolled, but the atmosphere was unnervingly quiet. No banners, no official staff welcome, no visible gesture of celebration. Jimin of BTS returned to Korea in silence, his pale face hidden beneath a mask, his steps heavy, and his expression subdued. What should have been one of the most anticipated moments of the year instantly became a scene of confusion and unease. Why did HYBE choose silence at a moment fans had waited for so long? And even more pressing, where is Jungkook? The muted return of Jimin on August 27, 2025, has triggered a storm across global fan communities. ARMY, known for their relentless loyalty, expected an official acknowledgement, perhaps a press event, or at the very least, a symbolic statement welcoming Jimin home after months away. Instead, what unfolded was a quiet arrival that looked more like an attempt to erase a narrative than to celebrate it. Unlike other BTS members who received extensive coverage during their post-military comebacks, Jimin's arrival was defined by absence. Absence of cameras, absence of company staff, absence of recognition. The silence itself became the headline. The questions began immediately. Fans noted Jimin's visibly fragile state. Just days prior, rumors had circulated online that his health had taken a downturn, sparking alarm across the fandom. His pale complexion at the airport seemed to validate those fears. Yet, what alarmed fans most was not his physical condition alone, but the absence of Jungkook, who had recently been spotted with him in Los Angeles. The two were rumored to be working on music projects together, but when Jimin returned to Korea, Jungkook was nowhere in sight. The separation has ignited speculation. Was Jungkook deliberately kept away, or is there a larger strategy at play that HYBE refuses to disclose? The silence from the company has only deepened the rift between expectation and reality. This is not the first time ARMY has witnessed unequal treatment in comeback promotions, but the stark difference in how Jimin's return was handled compared to other members has left many unsettled. When Jeon and V were discharged from the military earlier this year, their arrivals were accompanied by media coverage, celebratory videos, and coordinated fanfare. Jimin's return, however, unfolded like a secret, leaving fans to wonder whether it was an intentional move to downplay his presence. Why would the company choose such a muted approach for one of the group's most beloved members? Theories now circulate with relentless intensity. Some suggest that Jimin's recent candid remarks about the pressures of idol life may have made the company cautious about spotlighting him too soon. Others suspect that HYBE's strict timeline for BTS's group comeback during Festa 2025 forced Jimin into a premature return, prioritizing commercial goals over his health. The possibility that his US activities were cut short to align with group obligations has only fueled anger. Fans who had been following his rumored Los Angeles projects now feel robbed of closure, believing that his artistic independence may have been sacrificed for corporate scheduling. Yet, it is not just frustration, it is worry. The images of Jimin at the airport are haunting ARMY. His tired eyes, his noticeably weakened demeanor, and the absence of even a minimal celebratory gesture all point to a troubling possibility. Jimin is being pushed back into the spotlight before he is ready. Posts across fan forums echo the same sentiment. His smile has always been our comfort. Why does it feel like he's hiding his pain again? These words resonate deeply because they connect to a long history. Jimin has often spoken about the immense pressure to deliver perfection, about pushing himself beyond exhaustion. To see him return this way, without joy, without recognition, has reignited fears that he is once again sacrificing his well-being for expectations beyond his control. But perhaps the most unsettling aspect is Jungkook's absence. Where is he? Why, after being seen with Jimin in Los Angeles, was he not present in Korea alongside him? Some speculate that Jungkook has remained abroad to finish personal projects, while others believe his absence was a calculated decision to prevent drawing attention away from group activities. Still, Whispers of a possible rift between members are spreading. While there is no concrete evidence to support such claims, HYBE's refusal to clarify anything has left fans with only fragments, forcing them to piece together theories that grow darker with each unanswered question. This silence has consequences. It is not merely a lack of words. It is the company's decision to let speculation dominate the narrative. By refusing to issue even a basic acknowledgement, HYBE has left fans feeling abandoned, dismissed, and increasingly distrustful. For many, the disparity between how different members are treated reveals cracks in the company's strategy and perhaps even in their relationship with the members themselves. The absence of Jungkook, the muted arrival of Jimin, and the deliberate lack of recognition create an image not of unity, but of division. Some observers argue that the silence may be protective. They believe HYBE chose discretion to shield Jimin's health and privacy, especially since his fragile state was apparent. But to the fandom, such reasoning feels inadequate. If protection were truly the motive, why did it manifest as indifference? Why no comforting message, no assurance, no acknowledgement of his struggles? Instead, the image left behind is one of neglect, as though his individual narrative is being buried under the larger commercial machine of Festa 2025. The stakes are higher than ever. BTS is approaching one of the most critical moments in their history, the full reunion of all 7 members. ARMY has long dreamed of this moment, but the emotional weight of Jimin's return has exposed deep fractures. Fans now question whether the reunion will be celebrated with genuine joy or whether it will be overshadowed by exhaustion, secrecy, and hidden tensions. If one member is visibly struggling, can the group truly present the united front that fans have been promised? Or is the silence a warning that the cost of this reunion is far greater than what the public is allowed to see? As speculation spreads, the emotional tone within the fandom oscillates between anger and heartbreak. For some, HYBE's silence feels deliberate, a strategy to downplay Jimin's importance and shift attention to the collective rather than the individual. For others, it feels like betrayal, the abandonment of a member who has given everything to the group and its fans. Still others cling to hope, believing that there must be a hidden plan that will soon reveal itself. But as each day passes without clarity, that hope fades, replaced by unease and mistrust. Every detail is now dissected. The way Jimin bowed at the airport, the absence of staff by his side, the heavy look in his shoulders. Fans scour shaky videos and blurred photos, searching for meaning, searching for answers that the company refuses to provide. In these fragments, they see warning signs, signals that Jimin may be carrying burdens that the world cannot yet understand. And in the void left by HYBE's silence, those warning signs only grow louder. The narrative that should have been one of triumph has instead become a question of survival. Is Jimin's return a celebration, or is it a cry for help? And in the shadow of that question looms the mystery of Jungkook's absence, a silence within a silence, amplifying the uncertainty. Until HYBE breaks its silence, every unanswered question will continue to fuel speculation, distrust, and fear. For ARMY, what was supposed to be a joyful chapter has turned into a storm of confusion, and the silence now feels louder than any words could ever be. Under the weight of silence, speculation hardens into conviction. Many now believe Jimin's subdued return marks a turning point not just for him, but for BTS as a whole. The absence of Jungkook only magnifies the unease, for his role within the group has always been pivotal. Why would he remain unseen at such a critical moment? Was his absence a matter of timing, or was it orchestrated to control the narrative? The answers remain elusive, and HYBE's refusal to speak has left fans navigating a maze of unanswered questions. Each image of Jimin at the airport continues to circulate endlessly, a haunting reminder of how a long-awaited homecoming turned into a crisis of trust. For ARMY, the silence has already spoken volumes. Until the company addresses the mounting concerns, The mystery surrounding Jimin's frail return and Jungkook's disappearance will overshadow every announcement, every stage, and every promise. What should have been joy now lingers as doubt, and that doubt is spreading fast. The unanswered questions linger, tightening the grip of uncertainty around BTS's future. ARMY's anticipation has shifted into relentless scrutiny, with every silence from HYBE fueling deeper suspicion. Jimin's fragile return and Jungkook's unexplained absence now stand as symbols of a hidden conflict that fans cannot ignore. Without clarity, hope risks collapsing into distrust, and the mystery grows heavier with each passing day. What was meant to be a celebration has become a riddle. Jimin's quiet return and Jungkook's absence remain unresolved, forcing fans to confront possibilities they never wished to imagine. Until truth replaces silence, ARMY stands suspended between devotion and doubt, waiting for answers that may redefine the future of BTS itself. A storm of silence and speculation, Jimin's return, Jungkook's absence, and the question of truth to silence surrounding Jimin's return to Korea and the absence of Jungkook has already shaken the foundation of BTS's global narrative. But another, even more critical question now arises. Are we witnessing reality, or are we consuming a carefully constructed illusion? Every photo, every shaky airport video, every unconfirmed statement circulating across TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and countless other platforms compels us to confront a pressing dilemma. Are these fragments evidence of truth, or are they tools of manipulation designed to control perception and fuel discourse? When fans saw Jimin's frail appearance upon his return, the emotional response was immediate and overwhelming. Yet, we must pause and ask, how much of what we saw is verifiable, and how much is shaped by selective framing, edited angles, or deliberate omission? Could the absence of Jungkook simply be a matter of timing, or does a silence serve a narrative function, carefully orchestrated to ignite speculation and extend the group's presence in global headlines? The more this controversy grows, the more urgent it becomes to ask uncomfortable questions. If HYBE truly intended to silence the story, why allow videos and photographs to circulate unchecked? Is the company's refusal to make a statement a genuine act of negligence, or is it a strategy to intensify attention and curiosity? When fans dissect Jimin's tired eyes or Jungkook's absence, are they uncovering hidden truths, or are they playing into a system that thrives on ambiguity and sensationalism? The emotional power of ARMY's reaction cannot be denied. Yet, is that very emotion being exploited? When countless posts across fan platforms echo messages of concern, are these authentic cries for understanding, or are they evidence of how deeply fans have been conditioned to respond to moments of mystery with obsession rather than patience? The distinction matters, because if this event is indeed real, then Jimin's health and well-being demand urgent protection. But if the event is a staged silence, then the world is participating in a theater where outrage and worry are commodities to be consumed. IT is also worth reflecting on the sources that shape our perception. Most of the circulating information originates from platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and fragmented reports on smaller news sites. These are spaces where speculation often outweighs verification, where the speed of a headline matters more than its accuracy. Should we accept these fragments as factual simply because they resonate emotionally? Or should we demand evidence, confirmation, and transparency before building a narrative that could affect the reputations and well-being of real individuals? The absence of Jungkook adds yet another layer of doubt. Why does his silence matter so much? And why has it become the centerpiece of so many theories? If his absence is strategic, then who benefits from the suspense it creates? If it is unplanned, then why is there no clarification? More provocatively, could this entire narrative be designed not to reveal, but to withhold, to keep audiences waiting, speculating, and ultimately feeding into a cycle of engagement that benefits the very system they criticize? Consider also the role of media consumers. Each fan who reposts a video, shares a screenshot, or speculates in a forum becomes both a participant and a propagator of the narrative. Are we truly uncovering the truth of Jimin's return, or are we amplifying an echo chamber of half-truths and conjecture? Every retweet, every TikTok analysis, every YouTube commentary contributes to the storm, but does it bring clarity or only deepen confusion? We must also confront the possibility of hoax. If these events are exaggerated or staged, then the fandom itself has been turned into a tool of marketing, its outrage serving as fuel for relevance. Would HYBE, or any entertainment company, deliberately risk the trust of its most loyal supporters in pursuit of sensational attention? Or is such a suggestion too cynical, underestimating the complexity of both corporate strategy and human emotion? The uncomfortable truth is that both possibilities exist, and both must be considered. The silence from HYBE, while criticized, must also be examined through this lens. Does silence equal guilt, neglect, or manipulation? Or is silence itself a shield, an attempt to prevent misinformation from spreading further? Yet, paradoxically, by refusing to clarify, the company ensures that speculation dominates the conversation. If their goal is to protect, why allow chaos to reign? If their goal is to manipulate, why choose silence over spectacle? These contradictions demand reflection. Fans themselves must grapple with another question. Do they truly want the truth, or do they want the drama that speculation provides? Outrage, after all, fuels unity and energy within fandoms. By rallying around perceived injustices, communities strengthen their bonds. Could it be that the storm surrounding Jimin's return has become less about Jimin himself and more about the identity of ARMY as a collective? If so, then the controversy reveals less about HYBE Silent and more about the emotional needs of the fandom. The stakes extend beyond BTS, beyond HYBE, and beyond K-pop. This controversy illustrates the broader challenge of the digital age, discerning truth from illusion in a world where every moment is content, every silence is suspicion, and every absence is a potential headline. The responsibility falls not only on corporations, but on consumers. How critically do we evaluate what we see? How quickly do we allow speculation to harden into belief? How often do we mistake emotional resonance for factual accuracy? In reflecting on these questions, readers must ask themselves directly, do you believe Jimin's quiet return and Jungkook's absence represent genuine events suppressed by corporate neglect? Or do you believe these are calculated moves, staged to ignite global attention? If you choose the former, how do you reconcile the lack of verifiable evidence? If you choose the latter, what does it say about the trustworthiness of the industry and the willingness of fans to be manipulated? And if you remain undecided, what tools will you use to separate truth from fabrication in the days to come? Ultimately, this moment is a test of critical thinking. Information, whether true or false, now spreads at a velocity faster than verification. The challenge is not only to consume but to question, to resist the seduction of sensationalism and to demand clarity even when silence feels louder than words. If Jimin's health is genuinely at stake, then his protection must come first. If the narrative is constructed, then the industry's exploitation of fan emotion must be held accountable. Either way, the storm demands skepticism, reflection, and an unrelenting commitment to truth. So we leave the audience with the question that matters most. What do you believe? Do you see in this silence the shadow of reality, or the artifice of illusion? Is this a cry for help, or a stage-managed spectacle? The answers you choose will not only shape how you view BTS, but how you navigate every story in the digital age. The truth may be hidden, but the responsibility to seek it lies with all of us. The debate surrounding Jimin's muted return and Jungkook's unexplained absence does not end with speculation alone. It forces us to confront the deeper mechanics of modern media culture. What are we truly consuming when we watch airport videos, read speculative posts, and share unverified claims across platforms? Are we consuming facts, or are we consuming narratives? Stories carefully packaged, whether by fans, influencers, or corporations, to evoke emotional response rather than convey truth? This controversy is no longer just about two individuals in BTS. It is about how an entire global audience chooses to process, amplify, and respond to uncertainty. Consider how rapidly narratives form in online spaces. A blurry video of Jimin bowing quietly at the airport can transform into dozens of different interpretations within minutes. One fan sees exhaustion, another sees sadness, another sees deliberate suppression by management. Which interpretation is true? Perhaps none, perhaps all, or perhaps something entirely different. Yet within hours, these interpretations harden into facts in the minds of thousands. Does the speed of information now matter more than its accuracy? And if so, are we complicit in turning speculation into reality simply by repeating it? The absence of Jungkook intensifies this problem because absence itself is a blank canvas onto which endless theories can be projected. Fans ask, is he still in Los Angeles? Is he working secretly on solo projects? Has he been instructed to stay away? Each possibility is compelling, yet none are verified. But what does this say about us as media consumers? Do we seek clarity, or do we seek stories that satisfy our own expectations? The silence of one artist becomes an opportunity for thousands of voices to fill the void, but in filling it, do we distort the truth beyond recognition? We must also confront the ethical question. If this entire controversy were revealed tomorrow to be exaggerated, manipulated, or even staged, would the global outrage and anxiety have been justified? Or would it expose how vulnerable we are to sensationalism? Conversely, if the concerns prove genuine, does our skepticism risk minimizing the real struggles of an individual under unbearable pressure? Both outcomes are uncomfortable, yet both must be considered. How can we responsibly balance empathy with skepticism? How can we protect idols from harm while also protecting ourselves from manipulation? The silence that surrounds Jimin's return and Jungkook's absence is no longer simply a matter of celebrity news. It has evolved into a mirror reflecting the fragility of truth in the digital era. When a single clip on TikTok can spark millions of interpretations, when a fragment of audio on YouTube can be treated as proof, when a speculative thread on Twitter can shift public sentiment in hours, we must ask ourselves, do we live in an age of information or an age of perception? In such an environment, how can fans distinguish between reality and fabrication, between fact and performance? The issue is not whether Jimin looked pale or whether Jungkook was missing. The deeper issue is the machinery that transforms uncertainty into spectacle. Who gains from the endless debates, the trending hashtags, the emotional upheaval across platforms? Is it the company that remains silent, allowing mystery to intensify attention? Is it the influencers and commentators who profit from clicks and views? Or is it the fandom itself, which finds unity in crisis and identity in outrage? These questions are uncomfortable, but they must be asked if we are to understand why speculation so often feels more powerful than truth. And yet, even as we question, we must not forget the human cost. If Jimin truly is struggling, then our obsession with analyzing his every step risks deepening his burden. If Jungkook's absence is ordinary, then our suspicion risks distorting his image. But if this silence is engineered, then our emotions are not only ignored but exploited. Which possibility is more disturbing, that the suffering is real or that the suffering is staged? Readers must decide where they stand, but more importantly, they must decide how they think. Do you believe this narrative without hesitation, or do you interrogate it with caution? Do you allow your emotions to guide your conclusions, or do you insist on verification before belief? In this age of viral speculation, critical reflection is not optional. It is the only safeguard against manipulation. The unanswered question lingers. Is this truth concealed or illusion performed? Until clarity emerges, the storm will rage on.